Good Erev Shabbos, my dear friends. Parshas Naso. We're talking about the dedication of the temple, the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert, and the gifts that were brought by the leaders of the tribes. And the Rabbi points out a very interesting question. You see, the gifts that all of the Jewish people brought was so generous. In fact, that was the first and maybe the only Jewish appeal that had to be stopped. They brought too much. And the princes of the tribes, their gifts was also very generous. They brought the precious diamonds, and daily, each one of them brought on the first day of the inauguration a whole list of very generous gifts and offerings to the temple. And that raises a question with one of the specific gifts that they brought, the gift that they all brought together. It was 6 wagons and 12 oxen. It was brought to the temple by the leaders of the tribes jointly in order to be able to carry the Mishkan, the tabernacle. It was a portable temple, and for 40 years the Jews traveled in the desert and they needed to carry the temple. Now, the problem is, if you think about the beams, the long beams that they gave them 6 wagons only. And it was loaded up so much, so high, they needed to have the Levites joining along the wagons to make sure that it doesn't fall. And the question is, if you're just so generous, if you're giving so much, why don't you give a little more wagons? Why does it have to be so stingy? 6 wagons to load up the whole entire Mishkan when you know it was hardly enough. And the Rebbe says that this comes to teach us a very important lesson in life. God did not create anything in vain. Whatever God gives us can and should be used out fully. If we are able to carry the Mishkan with 6 wagons, use it out. Says the Rebbe, this is a lesson to each and every one of us. Whatever God gives us time. Use out your time appropriately. You know, today you have a whole industry that is created to spend billions of dollars to make you kill time. Well, the same devices, Baruch Hashem, are able today also to help you to use time properly, to study Torah, more classes. When you study Torah, you can also study Torah casually. You learn, and whatever you understand it in an enjoyable way, in a casual way. But if Hashem gave you brains, if Hashem gave you intellect that you can dig deeper into the Torah, to study deeper, don't waste it. God gave it to you so you can use it out. So let's use out everything we can. Don't waste time. Don't waste talent. Use out everything we can for the serving Hashem. And together we will bring the Geula, or bring Mashiach very soon. Amen. Have a wonderful Shabbos.